Alright, and once again, welcome to the Fusion Media Hub 2.0, Episode 3. Of course, you're riding along with Jerry Kunith and
Josh Tyler.
the good old Dream Team. Of course. Okay, so first I want to get to some news here. We're no longer going to be doing the news of the network as part of our Fusion Media Hub show. We're going to be splitting it once again, so there's going to be 3 videos per week.
Absolutely.
And basically, the news of the network will be posted on Fridays, and of course on Sundays and Wednesdays we'll have the usual Fusion Media Hub episodes in their original form.
Right. So we're basically adding another video.
Exactly. And the news portion has its own set and will be its own entity.
Yes,
So,
deservingly so.
right. So with that out of the way, let's move on to this awesome retro game. And Josh, what do we have?
Drum roll, please. Just kidding. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for the Sega Genesis.
Classic. Developed by the Sonic team, oddly
course.
enough. And published by Sega. This was released in 1994.
16 years ago.
And Josh, I remember every minute of it.
That puts things in perspective.
So let's go back in time when the blue blur was blurry.
Let's do it.
Now let's get to a review of something, back when the blue blur was actually blurry going across the screen, maybe?
Most definitely.
Let's do it. Let's start with the graphics, as always. Let me just start by saying what a massive improvement this game was from 1 and 2. Sonic 3, they did a tremendous job, and it was a 3-year difference?
4 years from
4
Sonic
years
1.
from Sonic 1. Wow. I mean, it's unrecognizable.
It's almost like they had a huge epiphany with what they could do with the processor, the system between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3.
Definitely, and it's nice to see when companies can really take full advantage of what their gaming system has to offer, and Sega definitely did that with this game. Right from the very beginning when you plug the game in, you'll notice a huge difference from the first two, just from the startup menu. Awesome 3D visuals that you'll see in this game. Absolutely spectacular. You can definitely see where the pre-rendering came into effect in this game. I mean, everything Sonic does, from flailing around and flipping around, riding the snowboard, all that stuff in 3D. So cool, so unique. And one of my favorite parts of the game, the special stages. Such a cool third-person view and so unique.
I love that. I really do.
It's a great experience when you're playing the game. Angel Island's awesome. You get a feeling of mass destruction when you're playing through that. The bright oranges, the trees on fire. The multiple layers in this game, just fantastic. The crazy carnival level.
My
oh
favorite.
God, what a visually impressive level that is. I mean, wouldn't even want to sit down and count the layers that are on that. And not to mention the colors will make you go crazy.
The colors and the use of lighting.
Yeah, absolutely spectacular. And sound, which you'll get to. Obviously, when you're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, you're going to be talking about speed. The speed of this game is absolutely unmatched, and it still flows masterfully. That sums it up. I'm giving it 9 trophies for graphics. Jerry, please tell me how the sound is.
Oh my god. The sound from the minute you plug the cartridge in. One thing I want to get to first is the updated title screen. The music in the title screen is a lot more in-depth, and it seems like they rendered it a lot differently when they produced it.
Absolutely. From
the first two. And the soundtrack, the first thing that pops in my head is it's very funky. It's a very funky soundtrack. It's very toe-tapping.
Your toe will be going the whole time.
It's very catchy to listen to. Very catchy to listen to. And if you have a subwoofer, even though that was unheard of back in those days, but if you have one now, turn it up, and it's just great bass on
That's
that.
a nice element.
I love it. And you have a lot of the great sound effects that return from the first 2 games. You have the ring sounds, and my favorite, the boingy noise when you hit the little jumps. And one thing about this music is it makes you want to play fast. So
yeah.
I think they really nailed the feeling of every level, which is something that's hard to do. And most definitely, I want to point out that the Crazy Carnival Zone is my favorite music. It's just the most odd but catchy music in the entire game, and you gotta pop that in just to see what I mean. But overall, it's a very great soundtrack, and I think they, like you said, married it with the game beautifully. And I'm gonna give it 8 trophies.
Solid score.
Hugh, how's the gameplay for the Blue Blur?
Thank you guys. So, gameplay for Sonic 3. Before I start, I'd actually just like to say that the Sega Genesis A lot of people don't know that it's actually quite a fun console to me. Not my favourite, but I do actually quite like the console on this. So anyway, the gameplay now, it basically, I don't know how you'd say it basically follows the same kind of formula, I guess you could say, that Sonic 2 does. But a couple of things that they've changed is, the first being that Tails is basically always by your side, and you can have the AI control him, or here's where the multiplayer comes into it, and I really do like this feature. I like this kind of idea in any game, that is at any time during the game, one of your friends or someone can come along, plug in the good old second controller into the port and take control of Tails, and that is at any time during the game. I'm really happy with what they've done there, and it's definitely a nice little feature. Basically, they also have some special moves. I'm not going to go into details about those, but those really help during the time, and it's nice to have both of them having special moves too, not just the main character. And what more can I say? It basically is a very nicely upgraded version of Sonic 2 with a few more stuff thrown in there. So, what am I going to give Sonic 3? I'm going to give this, I think, for gameplay, a good 7.5. Not my best score, but I've got to admit, it still is really high up there, and give me this for a night, I'll be busy. Okay guys, so it's now time for the recap and finally the overall. So, sound, Sonic 3, very good game. Sound was an 8. Very, very good on that one. I would have personally totally given it the same. Graphics was a 9. I think that's a really good choice as well, you know. Definitely suits what we're doing here, and of course my gameplay was a 7.5. One of the lowest scores, but I really do think it justifies it, and to be honest, it's not a bad score really, is it? So the overall, let's get this done. The overall is actually, again, quite a good one this week. And before I start, if you guys haven't played this, first off, where have you been? And secondly, pick it up. You know, if worst comes to worst, emulate it, because it is definitely worth that go. The overall this week is going to be an 8.5 for Sonic 3 on the Sega Genesis. So anyway guys, that is it for part 1 of the Fusion Media Hub 2.0 this week. Next we have our YouTube coming up, and of course the annotation will be right down there when it is up. So guys, see you then.